There's an ancient parable about a group of blind men examining an elephant. None of them have ever encountered an elephant before, and each begins describing the elephant to each other based on the part of the animal they happen to be touching. The man touching the elephant's trunk describes the animal as very long and thickly muscled with a mouth at one end. The man down at the tail confirms that the elephant is indeed long, but is more of a bony structure, and it is hairy at the end. The blind man examining the elephant's flank has no clue what the others are talking about. This parable illustrates that unless you have a complete picture of a particular subject, you cannot expect to fully understand it. So it is with the law of attraction, especially as described in Rhonda Byrne's global phenomenon, The Secret. Released in 2006 as both a movie and a book, the work features a set of interviews with many of the, quote, living masters, and teaches the law of attraction, together with analyses and summaries created by Byrne. Byrne wrote in the introduction to her book that the road to the secret began when her daughter gave her a copy of Wallace Wattles' 1910 book, The Science of Getting Rich. This was a popular tome of the New Thought movement, which flourished in the 19th and early 20th centuries. As a whole, the New Thought movement was concerned with exploring the power of thought in manifesting your wishes. The principles of mind over matter and like attracts like were propagated during this period and laid the foundations for a more spiritually oriented New Age movement in the subsequent decades. New Age gave way to the media-driven self-help movement of our time, within which Byrne's works are a popular introduction. So what is the secret? It's Rhonda Byrne's term for the law of attraction. Very briefly, the law of attraction states that you bring or attract into your life the things or situations that you think about most of the time. This brief definition might imply that the law of attraction is a conscious act of manifestation, but it is a much more fundamental metaphysical principle on how our material reality is created, most of which happens outside of our conscious experience. This is an important point. The law of attraction is always operating. If it did not, our physical universe would not exist, and you would not be here to ask it. But you can indeed use the law of attraction consciously to manifest things and situations by choice. In The Secret, Byrne summarized the law of attraction as ask, believe, and receive. She further underscored the importance of gratitude and visualization in manifesting your desires. But is The Secret incomplete? Based on the huge number of success stories printed on the official The Secret website, many hundreds of people have benefited very positively from watching the movie or reading the book, and that is a wonderful result. But equally, thinking positively, as described, did not manifest the significant changes in the lives of many others. Are they doing something wrong? Should they try to be more positive, more imaginative, more in charge of their thoughts? There is a much later quote from Bob Proctor, one of the teachers featured in The Secret, who said, "The movie, based on the law of attraction, is pop culture fluff. And we have the entire industry to blame for this. Being true to their sensational nature, the media take an amazing truth and they just amplify the sexy, less vital bits and leave out all of the rest. As a result, the law of attraction brand that you get today is really a watered-down version of the real thing." Ouch. That stings. Why would someone considered one of the foremost thinkers on the law of attraction say that the material presented in The Secret was watered down? Bob Proctor went on to state that when you use the law of attraction in reduced media-friendly form, you only scrape the tiniest tip of the iceberg when it comes to its immense potential. Clearly, Bob Proctor saw that The Secret was incomplete. Yes, it's a great introduction to the topic, and as a body of work, it is a collection of observations and discussions with experts tied together with a very reasonable conclusion. Bob Proctor is not saying that The Secret is wrong, simply that it's lacking sufficiently complete understanding of the subject, a lot like those blind men describing the elephant. So is there another secret behind The Secret? This course is not intended in any way to be a critique of Rhonda Byrne's enormously influential works. However, so many people have been introduced to the law of attraction via The Secret that I felt there was a need to address any possible misconceptions or preconceptions you may have. Now, if that's not you, I apologize and we'll get to the good stuff shortly. However, if you enjoyed The Secret, great. Honestly, so did I. But as Proctor suggests, Byrne was trying to distill centuries of knowledge into just 91 minutes or 198 pages. Misconceptions about the law of attraction will inevitably occur. The New Thought and New Age movements did not suddenly discover conscious manifestation. Rhonda Byrne's movie and book were not a revelation of secret knowledge. These efforts collectively have made this ancient knowledge more accessible, more consumable, and more popular. They are all modern interpretations of the magic of our spiritual heritage. Yes, there is a secret, but it has been so widely shared across our planet by gurus and priestesses and shamans and mages and alchemists and witches and holy people and messiahs, and for so many centuries that it's no secret at all. Rhonda Byrne captured the essence of this ancient knowledge for conscious manifestation in the mantra, ask, believe and receive, an incantation to be supported by visualization and powered by gratitude. Byrne is not wrong, not at all, but the natural follow-up questions are ask who, believe what, and receive when. Answering these questions is, I would suggest, where misunderstandings creep in, particularly for those people who are new to metaphysics or not finding much success with the material. So let's examine these questions and see if we can recast them in a different light to avoid any misunderstandings and arrive at a different mantra. To do so, we'll need to scrape an even bigger chunk from Bob Proctor's metaphorical iceberg of understanding. Our reward, though, will be to arrive at the 3 tools of manifestation, which I'll examine in more detail and provide exercises for later in this course. In The Secret, there's constant reference to the universe as the source of whatever it is you desire. To quote Lisa Nichols, one of the teachers, the first step is to ask. Make a command to the universe. Let the universe know what you want. The universe responds to your thoughts. If in hearing this you interpret the universe as some sort of deity of which you ask or command money, health, happiness, whatever it is, then I'd like to suggest another way of thinking about it. The teachers in The Secret are using the word universe or universal mind as a colloquialism for the collective consciousness, the supreme aspect of the all that is. Now, any belief you have in a god or goddess or multiple gods is your relationship with the all that is. Even if you do not believe in deities, I'll wager that you do believe in consciousness. So for the remainder of this course, let's take consciousness as our shared reference point. In metaphysics, consciousness is all there is, and everything seen and unseen is consciousness. That includes animate and inanimate things from the tiniest subatomic particles to the universe itself, and the infinite number of universes beyond ours. If this sounds unbelievable, then that's fine. I'm not asking you to believe it if you don't want to. But I would like you to consider this. If you are conscious, and we'll take that as a given, and everything else is consciousness too, then you can appreciate how you are just one part, one thread, in the great fabric of all consciousness. You are part of the whole, and the whole is part of you. Okay, here's the point I'm getting to. To ask the universe for what you desire is no different to expressing that desire to yourself. In wishing for something, the collective consciousness wishes it too. Think of it as analogous of plunging a paintbrush with a blob of red colour on it into a jar of clean water. By shaking the paintbrush in the water, a strong and intentional action, the water in the jar turns red itself. The paintbrush, the water, and even the jar all experience the red you have introduced. Those wishes that are given focus and intention reverberate strongly in the all that is, where they achieve their attainment and endurance. In metaphysics, you are not separate from this omnipresent consciousness. There is no duality, as it's sometimes called. You are not asking someone or something to manifest this thing for you. You are asking of yourself. This is important to understand because it means the act of conscious manifestation is a natural ability. You stand as the initiator of all that is manifest, a natural entitlement in co-creation with all consciousness that exists. If you can appreciate that the you, as a conscious self, are part of the whole, and that whole is part of you, you will gain tremendous insight into how the law of attraction works. So let's rewrite the mantra, ask, believe, receive, using what we know about the metaphysical nature of consciousness. We'll use desire with the all that is instead of ask of as a more powerful way of using the law of attraction. This means that instead of ask, believe, receive, we now have desire, believe, receive. The believe component of the mantra could be interpreted as faith. You have faith that when you ask the universe it will respond, and faith that the thing you ask for will show up in your reality. There's also the faith that this law of attraction thing works, that it is a real aspect of the non-physical universe, that a non-physical universe exists, and the whole thing is not just a bunch of nonsense. That's quite a lot of faith. As I mentioned earlier, the law of attraction is not scientifically proven, and this makes some people uncomfortable. But it is indeed an act of faith. You either trust in the law of attraction or you don't. Now, you can test this faith in a tangible way and prove to yourself that the law of attraction works because what you desire will show up in your reality. Repeated success in your ability to consciously manifest will strengthen that faith. Still, faith doesn't help us improve our use of the law of attraction. Faith is something you have, it's not something that you do. You can't just add a few extra spoonfuls of faith to make the law of attraction work better. With respect to the secret, it's all very well to tell people to believe and that it somehow gives potency to your wish. I would suggest this leads to the misunderstanding that you simply toss your desire over the wall into the universe's garden and wait for the universe to send it back. That is not how to participate in co-creation, and it does not put to good use the power of the mind. If you think about it, a desire for change in your life goes hand in hand with daydreams. You may come across an image of what you desire and you imagine yourself in that picture, what it feels like to have it. You begin to yearn for that image to become your image, to be your achievement. You start to daydream, imagining more fully, more sensually, what your life would be like having attained the same success. Well, where would you go? What would you do? How differently would people treat you? How differently would you treat yourself? One of two things will happen at this point. Either you dismiss that image as unattainable and go back to your daily routine, or that yearning for change expands and stretches and transforms into more desire. It is your imagination, your daydreams, that give power to your wishes. Without imagination, your yearnings are but fleeting thoughts. The more you can imagine how joyous your life can be with that desire manifested, the more the desire itself grows. With imagination, you are fully engaging in the power of your mind. You are now resonating with that desire. You start thinking about your desire a lot, daydream about it even more. You become receptive to it. You start to notice aspects of that desire showing up around you. Perhaps a show about it comes on TV, perhaps a chance encounter on the street. It's not quite yours yet, but is tantalizing and exciting to you. This is the law of attraction in action. I hope you can appreciate that imagination is more useful than believe in giving power to your wishes. Imagination moves that desire into action. Manifesting your desire becomes your strongest wish. Let's revisit our mantra then and replace believe with imagine. Recall, we've already changed ask in the previous section, so we now have desire, imagine, receive. This new mantra is really starting to hum now, buzzing with powerful metaphysical understanding. With desire and imagination, we have everything we need to put the law of attraction in action. There's just now the small matter of getting what you want to show up in your reality. There are some lovely stories of people intentionally using the law of attraction and receiving what they desired. One of my favourites, and yet one so typical, is the story of that cherished comedian and modern metaphysician, Jim Carrey. At the start of his movie career, Jim Carrey yearned to find the success he desired. He had a long-term interest in the magic of manifestation, using not only affirmation but other reinforcement techniques. One night around 1990, while overlooking Hollywood from Mulholland Drive, Carrey wrote himself a check for $10 million and dated it Thanksgiving 1995 for acting services rendered. He continued to work at his craft, honing his skills, and all the while desiring and imagining his success. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, Carrey was contracted to star in the movie Dumb and Dumber, for which he would receive a fee of $10 million. He said, "As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and working towards it, while letting go of how it comes to pass." Cause and effect are phenomena of our material reality. It is very straightforward for us humans to say, well, Jim got $10 million because he was skilled, he had a good agent, and by Thanksgiving 1995, the film studio was willing to pay that sum. Yes, all true. That's exactly what happened. There is always a logical explanation for everything on our physical plane of existence. In hindsight, we can join the dots and point to the significant moment in Jim Carrey's life where it became inevitable that he would receive the sum of money on this particular date. What Jim Carrey had was the foresight that this would happen in his life, and he had a belief in the inevitability of that foresight. It is in the mud of cause and effect and a focus only on hindsight that our metaphysical boots get stuck. I don't know how many people around the world have tried the technique of writing themselves a dated check for an amount they desired, but given that there are no newspaper reports of sudden widespread wealth around the globe, I think it's fair to say that this has not worked for most. Does it mean that the law of attraction is a fantasy? This was pure serendipity that Carey met with the path that brought him this reward? I know Jim Carrey would disagree strongly. But for the rest of the check writers, what went wrong? There are 10 million reasons why 10 million people failed to find success with this technique. But one of the most common reasons I would suggest is that they did not expect it to happen. Expectation is the third key component of the new mantra that we are building. In metaphysics, it is not sufficient to desire and imagine what it is you wish to manifest. You must also expect it to happen. But the problem is that most people are so entrenched, so trapped in the need to build a timeline of significant events, a hindsight of cause and effect, before they manifest their desire. They cannot even imagine how such a thing could happen. Well, that's the imagine component shot to pieces. Their inability to imagine how it might happen weakens their faith, which diminishes their expectation. After a while, they stop desiring what it is they truly want. It's too painful, too humiliating. We'll discuss more the true nature and power of expectation in the practical module for this course. For now, I hope you can appreciate that the receive component of the original mantra, ask, believe, receive, is not a particularly useful instruction. You receive when you receive. It is getting to the point of receiving that concerns us in using the law of attraction. Sure, you can say that expectation is implicit in the believe component of the mantra. It has to be. If you did not believe that the law of attraction works, you would certainly not receive anything. But why not be more explicit? Let's ensure that with the new mantra we're building, it has the strong signposts we need to provide clear instructions for using the law. If we are going to put an instruction label on the bottle of law of attraction, then let's have that label read, desire, imagine, expect.